My name is Rere Obaisi. I am the CEO of Reohob Nigeria Limited and also the visionary for Reohob Initiative. Reohob Nigeria Limited is into the supplies of renewable energy products and services, and then it's commonly called the inverter and the solar system. The Reohob Initiative it's an NGO. It's not a profit-making organization. It's for us. The idea behind Reohob Initiative is to provide renewable energy for people that cannot afford it, especially people in the rural areas. Reohob Nigeria Limited started 2012. I used to be a banker though. Then I pulled out of banking and decided to move back to Ondo State in Akure, where my parents lived. Somewhere along the line, I stumbled on a local inverter, and I thought to myself that inverters, if there is a local one, there should be an imported one. So I decided to use Google. Google was very helpful, so I Googled it, and then I saw imported inverters. And then I messaged everybody. I sent an email to every company that I saw that had inverter systems as one of their products and services. Luckily enough, 2 companies replied me, one from the US and one from India, and that's how Reohob started. Reohob Initiative just started this year. We've been putting work into it on the ground for about a year now. We're launching fully this year. Reohob Initiative is the big idea of Reohob, but it's a different idea because it is fully called rural electrification. So it's more like we are going into places that are off the grid, people that cannot even afford it, and using our resources, our technical know-how to give them power supply. You see, naturally I'm a driven individual, and then I have the tendency to go for what I want. So when I decided to, jump on the renewable energy program, I thought to myself that renewable energy deals directly with the future, and we all understand the problem of global warming. So you see, renewable energy, in a sense, helps us to cut off the use of fossil fuel, and then helps us to jump on the ones that are safer for the environment. So at the same time as I was thinking about the business aspect, I was also thinking about the future of human beings, So basically, my inspiration, I draw inspiration from a lot of things. I read a lot of business books, I have a lot of mentors, and then I personally just encourage myself. You see, when I left the banking industry, even though I wasn't in the bank for too long, I thought to myself that I had more to offer the world. So I basically just took off. Even as at the time I left the bank, I didn't know I was going to go into renewable energy. But I left the banking industry with the mindset that I had more to offer the world. And lo and behold, I think barely 3 months after I left the bank, renewable energy found me. So as regards my inspiration, there are a whole lot. The drive to make the world a better place is one of them. The opportunity to work on a large scale, employ people is also one of them. You see, provision of jobs for the unemployed is one of them. And I also believe that if we do our little bits in this world, we'll preserve the world a little more. And that's about it, basically. Okay, you see, it is really hard to convince people from using what they are already used to. Now, most people think that I started this recently, but I've been on this journey for about almost 7 years now. In April, it's going to be 7 years, basically. So we started exactly March 2012. And what I have done, or what myself and whoever has worked with me has done, is to use all we've got to push this message out. We do mouth-to-mouth convincing, we do internet marketing, we do social media marketing, and then we embodied the idea of renewable energy to the point where whenever we see you or we have a conversation with you, between 1 or 2 minutes, we're already talking renewable energy. So we tried to make sure that we were living in it. We were using it ourselves. So sooner or later, people started to get convinced about the idea. And then the truth is, the idea is a great idea. We're selling you something that will not allow you the stress of putting on the generator would save you the stress of servicing your generator, will save you the stress of buying fuel, will save you the health hazard of smoke pollution, even noise pollution, for example. So you see, the advantages of renewable energy sometimes is enough to convince some individuals. While some it is not enough for them, we go for that, we keep doing it and doing it. But over the years, we've been able to get a few number on our side, and I'm sure you can attest to the fact that renewable energy is a growing industry right now. So if you want the future to be great, you rather jump on renewable energy. If you want more comfort, you jump on renewable energy. In the developed countries right now, they are thriving on renewable energy. That's the major source. Most of them have given themselves time for between another 10 to 20 years to completely, or at least 70%, power their countries with renewable energy. And I think Nigeria can also do this. You see, our initiative also has that vision, because we believe that Africa and this sub-Saharan part of the world has an unlimited source of sunlight, which is what the solar uses. So if anybody in the world should be using solar systems, it should be African. So we are doing that in Reohob initiative. We're also pushing that in Reohob Nigeria Limited, and we are sure in a little while from now, we should get a lot of more people convinced about the vision and the drive. Okay, so as regards competition, I'm not completely bothered about competition. I try to outdo myself, I believe that I have a strong work ethic, and I thrive on my leverages. I try to use people that I think that have influence in the industry, to push myself. For example, I use social media a lot. Most people don't understand the power of social media in this generation. I use social media a lot, and it has really helped. I've also put in some things in place. I make sure I stay afloat as regards information on renewable energy. I read deep, I Google things. I try to go for as many meetings as possible, as many conferences as possible. I just learn basically. So what we do is we make sure we're innovating every now and then. For example, I don't know if you heard when you came in, I was talking about an upgrade on the website. We just did a website maybe about a year ago. Now we're already upgrading it. So I operate on the personal principle I call no weak hours. So there is no time when I'm leaning back and cooling off. No, I'm always on to the next. Do you drink Hennessy? Okay, the advert, it says never settle. Yeah, I never settle basically. That's how I stay afloat. So basically, I think this is majorly dependent on my kind of person. Even when I was a banker, I did not study banking. I finished from Covenant University. I studied microbiology. So it wasn't like I had an idea of banking. It wasn't like I had an idea of renewable energy. But the thing about me is when I like something, when it appeals to me, I go learn about it. For example, I had to take a couple of short courses on renewable energy. I had to, employ people that had that knowledge and learned on the job. Yeah, so I used my money to gain knowledge. Yeah, so it wasn't a 1 month thing, it wasn't a 1 year thing, it wasn't a 3 year thing. I'm still learning, in fact. So you see, that leverage of learning fast on whatever interests me is what has kept me, So it wasn't like I studied electrical engineering and did 2 masters in the US and did 1 PhD. Nah, it didn't work like that for me. I just have the drive. Yes, and I have the vision. So when you have those 2 things and your work ethic is sound, I don't think there's anything you can achieve. You see, the funny thing about achieving a goal or running with a vision, it is not about you. You have to find people that, have that quality and bring them on your team. For example, I'm a good manager. I'm not too much of people have their job descriptions. So in my own job description is to gather these people that, and then manage them and make us produce results. My own is to produce end results, So that's about it basically. Okay, so like I said earlier, Reohob initiative is targeting off-grid areas. and rural areas. We don't want people that can afford it. People that can afford it can go ahead and buy from us. But those that cannot afford it, that we are sure we're gonna do a kind of survey, to pick those areas. And then when we find those areas, we would give them those services at no cost to them. But we are going to put up maintenance, some maintenance services or some maintenance scheme so that they don't destroy it. You say all those things are in place. But the idea is to make sure that those people have power supply for the basics. Now you see, renewable energy is such that a lot of people can use it for anything. Most people don't know that there are solar inverters that power ACs. There are some that even power industries. For example, we have from 1 kVA to 300 kVA. People don't know that we have that kind of capacity. We've done 100 kVA before, we've done 20 kVA before, but we are looking for something that will give these people just lights and fan. Or lights, fan, and maybe their radios or their TVs. It's just the basic stuff. It's not for their luxury. We just believe that if there is power supply, some of them will be able to either, read at night, or probably do their own works, or probably, feel safer when they're sleeping, or probably, a lot of advantages to having power supply. So Reohob Initiative is that vision that will bring that whole idea to life. For the initiatives, for the ones that we have done, we pick them randomly. But in the nearest future, we are not doing that. We are going to do a complete survey of the whole Nigeria, highlight or shortlist the people that need it, talk to the people that we think can offer some form of collaboration with us, some form of funding, some form of I don't know, whatever we call it. And then tell them that these are the areas that we have available and this is what we think we should do. But the truth is we are going to do it for the people that need it the most first. So let's say on the scale of 1 to 10, we have people that have maybe power supply for 2 hours, some 6 hours in a week, some not at all. We will choose the people that have not at all. So that's the way it is for us. That's the idea. That is the plan. So, but for now, we are choosing randomly. If you come to us and tell us there is a place where you think they really need power supply, we send our team there. They check it out. They see that these people really need power supply. We start to gather our resources. It might take us months. And then we'll go install for them. But in the nearest future, when we officially launch the Reohob Initiative, we will have shortlisted all the possible areas that need these services, and then little by little we'll cover them. So for Reohob Initiative, the major challenge is funding. The equipment and the services are not really cheap. They're not really affordable. It's not bread, so it's something that you need to, really have money to do. So the major challenge for Reohob Initiative is funding. If we get good funding, we can cover the whole of Africa in months, So it's just strictly funding. But for Reohob Initiative, it's a little deeper because that is a business. There are a couple of challenges, employee kind of challenges, maintenance, culture, trainings, a couple of things, funding also, because you see, for you not to compromise on standards, you have to have good funding. For example, Reohob is bringing in our new batteries, which we think will supersede any battery in town for now. But you see, that has been a difficult thing for us. We have been stalling on it because we found out that for you to get those top quality batteries, you really need to pay from your nose. Payments for the type of goods, then cost of shipping and cost of clearing is a lot. So that is a major challenge for us. But we do not want to compromise. So instead of us rushing and bringing in batteries for the whole world to buy, we're taking our time. So by the time you see real batteries, you can beat your chest, and we can beat our chest and say, we know this is a good product. So for us, our major challenge is funding, But we are doing our best. The business is really growing at a fast pace. We moved fully to Lagos not quite 1 year, and we've covered a lot of ground. You know, in last year alone, we installed almost 200 inverters. So that is good for us. You know, that is really good for us. So we believe as time goes on, we would. Yeah. The future of Reohob Nigeria Limited is the future of the world. The future of Reohob Nigeria Limited is Reohob Initiative also. We have a lot of futures. Now, we believe that this technology called the renewable energy technology is going to keep innovating itself, because you see, the white people are not sleeping. So we believe that we have to position ourselves in such a way that as the change occurs, we change with the change. So we believe that, well, we've done our best to, you know, maintain this this is the 7th year running. We believe that we will keep doing it. You see, the future of renewable energy is the future of the world. For now, they are still preaching it. Sooner or later, they will make it compulsory for the whole world to jump on it, because it's either we jump on renewable energy or our planet crumbles. If you stay with the news properly, you would have seen what global warming is already doing. It will cause a lot of flooding, it will cause a lot of emissions, it will cause a lot of waves. You see, I picked up a course with the UN on that aspect, and when I was going through the models that they made us read, I realized that even here in Nigeria, we don't even understand what is going on over there. Once we cannot tackle the global warming with renewable energy, nothing else can work. We have to protect the ozone layer. We have to make sure that we are not, you know, emitting carbon monoxide, basically. So I think that the future of renewable energy is also the future of Reohob. As long as renewable energy is in existence, Reohob stays in existence. At Reohob, our watchword is live better.